right, so what if there was a study that said humans will behave in a certain way if given the right circumstance, okay? And as it is, we have a lot of studies like that, just kind of examining how people will react depending on certain situations. And but let's focus on issues of basically detention facilities, or even, we don't even have to say a detention facility. It could be situations where authorities have total control, right, over people. So in this situation, that could be a facility, or it could be anywhere, right? Okay, so let's say there was a study that said that given a situation like that, where authorities or prison guards or whatever were given full control and very limited guidance on what they couldn't do. Basically, they could do whatever. Then they would do whatever, okay? Let's say that study said that. And let's say there was like multiple studies showing the same thing, but it could just be one, right? And the chances were that maybe the entire society, the entire world, and people in the world wouldn't actually know that. Maybe just a set group of people might actually pay attention to studies like that, and maybe the people that paid attention to studies like that would be people in power. And how would you imagine they could use that to their advantage? So let's say you have the people at the top, right? And they want to kind of skirt laws that are supposed to protect people. And one way they could do that is just to use a study like that and just say, basically they don't have a lot of rules that they have to follow for their rules of engagement, and put them out there, right? Whatever the situation. And then then they're absent. The leadership is absent. They're not looking, right? And then when it comes to something going wrong, and the people doing the things wrong are those people under the leadership that they didn't give clear guidance to and just kind of let them think they could do whatever they wanted, who gets in trouble for it? Well, if we look at many past examples, who gets in trouble for it is going to be the little guy, right? The foot soldiers, whoever pulled the trigger, right? Whoever did the torture. That's who would be in trouble, and who would generally get away with it, because they could just be like, I didn't know that would happen, and they didn't do it by themselves. Those people under them did it. Right. Those would be the people that just might have the knowledge of how people in power, people given power, right, authority figures or whatever, might behave without supervision and without clear guidance. And with that knowledge, they could just kind of get away with it, right? They could say, we didn't know this would happen. We had no idea. And, it wasn't their fault. But my idea of this is that we've seen it play out so many times, right? So many examples of leadership just being absent and not giving clear guidance, or just giving their people just, you can do whatever you want. We have so many examples of that how can we even think that the leadership in those examples is not to blame? How could we even imagine anymore that the leadership didn't purposely kind of turn their back and, oh, we didn't know that would happen? How could we even imagine that anymore? And I'm going to say we probably can't imagine that anymore. And that any degree of a leader just kind of conveniently being gone and not watching and not controlling their people, they need to be held accountable for everything their people do. Not just the people under them, but them as well. And what I'm seeing with this scenario is they're not only intentionally, presumably intentionally committing whatever crime because they know that would be the human nature result of stepping away and not supervising and not giving clear guidance, but they're also responsible for screwing over the people under them, and that's going to be the soldiers or the police, anyone who would be kind of walked into whatever situation. And I'm not going to say they wouldn't be responsible for doing it, but basically the whole idea there is that they get in trouble and the leadership doesn't. So maybe something to think about for people who are in situations like that, that's the very likely outcome of what would happen. They get in trouble and the leadership just kind of walks off. So if we had more situations like that, I'm going to say more, where leaders just kind of looked the other way and acted like, we didn't know any of that would happen. But lo and behold, they're just playing that whole played out role, right? Where they do that. Then they're committing two crimes. One is going to be whoever, against whoever gets tortured, whoever gets killed, whoever gets harmed by their people. And the other one, is going to be against their own people. Because the whole idea, how I see it, of them just kind of looking the other way and pretending like, oh, we didn't know that would happen, would be that they wouldn't get blamed for it. And that the people under them, their soldiers or police or agents or whatever, that they would get blamed for it, that they would go to jail because they pulled the trigger. But, just kind of seems like a dirty trick, and probably one that I don't see working too much longer, considering it's just happened way too many times.